boosters that they use in gas are Bosch. They're all made in Germany. Very good system. We found them to be fantastic. Okay. They're also hail resistant, right? The replacement cost for one collector, say one's to break, like a tree branch or a cricket bat hits it, it's not like $1,000 with a flat panel collector, it's $80. So it's very effective in terms of that. They are also totally frost-proof. They look good, as I've said. There's no anodes in the system, so it's not going to need maintenance like a solar heart every 2 years. So if you factor that, and I'll go through the costs in a sec with what they cost to run, they're far more efficient because solar heart are going to charge you $200–300 to come out and change over an anode. So if you've got to do that every couple of years, it just defeats the purpose. Why go solar? Because there's too much maintenance cost involved. Okay, so they're also very efficient because of solar tracking. You can see here they're a round tube. The thing about that is that when the sun rises, it starts hitting the panel on the side straight away. And when it sets, the same thing. So it's far more efficient when the sun comes up and when it goes down when you're doing showering. So it's just the design of the overall system. And it was actually an Australian design product. Again, we've got brilliant minds in the audience here. Designing products, sending them overseas. Unfortunately, in the case of this product, they couldn't find funding here in Australia to make it a commercial reality. So it went overseas for funding. So now most of it's owned overseas, which is really disappointing. But it was an Australian design product, which is fantastic. Okay, I handed out some sheets before. If anyone doesn't have one, they're at the front. I'll just grab them again because this is quite important. So another one thing that gets asked, essentially, has everyone got one? It's not for you, gentlemen. The number one thing that gets asked by architects is, you seem to be out now, but if you could share that'd be great. Number one thing that gets asked by architects is, so how efficient is it? How much does it cost to run? These figures in front of you that you can see there give you all of the breakdown of what it costs. So for a typical solar hot water system, and I'd have to look again, but it's around about between $70 to $100 a year for a natural gas boosted system. This one is 40% more efficient. So you're looking at about $50 a year to run. So that's fantastic. An electric storage system costs more like $700. So you can see that the payback period there is going to be quite significant. Okay? Then for an electric boosted system, you're looking at just a little bit more than that, so around about $100 a year to run. So, but again, these are more efficient again by 40%. So power costs over here, to make this all relevant, you kind of need something to refer to, and you can see there that, say, LPG gas instantaneous, which a lot of people use to run their underfloor heating, is actually the least efficient product on the whole market in terms of cost. So I thought that was interesting. So if a client says to you guys, hey, what's better? Is an air-based heat pump better, or should I just go with these instantaneous units, which are easy and most architects tend to specify them? If they're in a rural area, you can say, well, LPG, it's not going to be that efficient, and you can say, well, solar hot water, these are the differences between electric and the gas boosted. So hopefully that helps a bit. If there's any questions about that after, come and see me. Okay, so sizing a unit. This is really important. If you've got 5 to 6 people in a home, you really need a 315 litre tank. Okay? If you've got 3 to 4 people, you can get away with a 250. And if you've got 1 to 2 people, you can do a 160 litre tank. I haven't installed a 160 here in WA. The main reason is it doesn't get any rebates and recs, so people tend to sway away from it. Might as well get a bigger unit that's going to be able to service, your whole home, and maybe your expanding family. System information. This is important for architects, and I'll send it out to you guys. How much now with photovoltaics, etc. You've got to take this into consideration when putting, photovoltaics on the roof. How much roof space have I got? You've got curved roofs. You've got different scenarios. So take into consideration that a manifold, the height of the collector is 2 metres, so including the manifold and the width of your collectors, and also it gives all the breakdown. So you can work out what your roof space is, and go back to the client and then pencil it in on your drawing.